back to this course in which we try to understand deeper dimension of what we talked in the last course. In the last course we found that happiness is not in objects of enjoyment. Happiness is not outside, but it is inside. What is that inner state which we reckon as happiness? We unraveled through a simple happiness analysis, Ananda Mimamsa. The conclusion was that that inner state is a state of silence, where we transcend all thoughts. And silence is bliss, bliss is peace, peace is happiness, we concluded. Each time we have a sense pleasure, the senses coming in touch with a sense object, Vishayi Sambhoga occurs, the mind goes into that silence, and that we reckon as happiness. So what is the mechanism by which happens? That is the subject matter of this course today. According to the Upanishads, when we are born, we all are born with certain quantum of pranic energy at the base of our spine, called the Muladhara. And this is fixed for each individual. It varies from person to person in a certain way. And this Prana Shakti we use every day for various transactions. We take out, let us say, 3000 units of energy every day. And this we use for various transactions. Walking, eating, drinking, thinking, and everything. Let us say we use 2500 units of this energy for all our transactions. And the remaining is going to go to upper regions of the skull, say 500. That gets accumulated. So the equation for this pranic energy is given here. E equals Es plus Ea. E is the energy that we draw from our total energy store every day, and we use it for various transactions. Es, energy spent, and the remaining goes into the head. Ea, E accumulated. Just like in a bank, you hack up certain amount of money. Every day you take out 1,000 rupees and spend about 750 rupees, and the remaining 250 use it for other things. Now, Ea is the one that gets accumulated in the head, and it represents the level of dukkha. If Ea is more, there is more dukkha, there is more tension, there is more stress, and more misery, more pain. If Ea is less, then you are light on head, you are happy, you are more peaceful, and more happiness. So Ea represents the quantum of happiness in a sense. And therefore, all of our attempts essentially to get more happiness means Ea has to be reduced. So what happens when you eat a dish of your choice, or you hear a beautiful music of your choice? What happens in the Vishayi Sambhoga? In the Vishayi Sambhoga, the Es increases. If the normal thing is 3000 equals 2000 plus 1000, in the Vishayi Sambhoga, Es increases. It becomes say 2500. So automatically the Ea reduces to 500. Therefore you are happier. Among all the activities that we do, we spend more and more energy. Walking, eating, then we have the swimming and several other activities in which you do that. But in Vishaya Sambhoga, you have the maximum spending of the energy because of the resonance factor. And therefore, EA reduces drastically. So compared to walking for half an hour or 1 hour, when you eat a dish of your choice, hear the beautiful music, your ES increases tremendously, therefore EA reduces. That's the dimension. And therefore, when you look at this equation, E equals ES plus EA, you will see that if ES is reduced, then EA is going to increase. This is what happens when you want to sit quiet. You are asked to sit quietly without any activity. What happens? Only the basic functions will absorb certain amount of energy. The ES reduces considerably. It comes down to say only 1000. Therefore, the EA increases to 2000. Therefore, you start becoming restless. You start getting bored. And this is what happens when you try to sit quiet without any activity. So what do we do normally? When you are sitting quietly, you get bored. So what do? You go to a kitchen and start munching something. Or you put on your TV and start watching something. Or you go to your computer and browse. Various ways by which you increase the ES. From 1000, you increase it to 1500, 2000. Then EA reduces and you get normalized. The elderly people, I remember. So they always used to go outside and they go on chit-chatting. And there is no subject matter as such. But just they go on gossiping, chit-chatting, gossiping centers, you can say, in which they feel comforted. Why? Without any activity, their mind gets bored. Therefore, activity increases ES, therefore EA comes down, they are comforted. What about children? When there is no activity, the mind becomes bored and the children start crying because they can't do any other activity. So by crying, the ES increases, therefore EA reduces, they feel more comforted. And by that time the mother comes and probably feeds the child, therefore the process of eating or drinking is going to increase the ES and the cry is stopped. So we gossip out the energy, we talk away the energy, we walk away the energy, and the children cry away the energies to reduce the EA. This is the whole mechanism built within us. So lower the EA, better the happiness. Greater the EA, greater the dukkha. That is what has been happening, and whole life is geared towards this dimension. Now we have gone into the age of science and technology, and our actions have become very fast, and our speeded up life has started consuming more energy. Therefore, the amount of energy that we draw from our store has increased. Let's say from 3000 it is increased to 4000 units. So the E has increased to 4000 in the modern life. Therefore, to maintain the same EA of 1000 for normalcy, you have to spend 3000 units. So ES has to increase to 3000 to maintain the same 1000. How do we do that? Therefore, our likes and dislikes have changed. We don't like soft music. You don't like simple foods. You want jazz music, and you want dynamic dancers, and you want lot of mirchi, masala, and other things, so that you will be able to spend more energy. ES has to increase to 3000. Therefore, our entire lifestyle is geared to get different types of food habits and different enjoyment process. So when you watch the TV, the children go on switching channels. Because in the same channel, if they do, the energy spent is less. So they want to change. And even some of the children like advertisement rather than the main story itself. Why? Because in advertisement there is fast thing going on. Therefore the energy spent is much higher. And this is the whole mechanism that has been set into the modern life. Therefore E itself is increased. Therefore ES has to increase to 3000 to get you to that normal state of EA. Now the question is how we get into the higher dimensions of dimension. Is it the only way to get a TA? No. You have to increase ES to reduce EA. But is it the only way of doing it? You look at the equation. E equals ES plus EA. If you want to reduce EA, what is to be done? You are increase ES and you maintain the E. This is one. There is an alternate way. Think about it. To reduce EA without changing ES, I reduce E itself. So this is another way of doing it. So what do I do here? To decrease my EA, I am going to decrease the energy that I am drawing from inside. Instead of 3000, I am going to reduce it to 2500. With the same ES, 2000, your EA is going to come down to 500. Therefore, you are more happy. So this is what I call as the yoga way of life. To increase ES, to reduce EA is the bhoga way of life. That is, you increase the sense enjoyments to increase ES so that EA is going to come down, you become happy. In the yoga way of life, without increasing your sense pleasures, you reduce your EA itself by reducing the E. How to reduce E? For that, we have relaxation techniques. Slow deep breathing in pranayama. Calming up the mind through meditation. By so doing, our E that you are drawing is going to reduce. And therefore, when you want more and more happiness, what do we do in yoga way of life? You reduce E itself. In bhoga way of life, you increase the ES. So when you get bored, what do we do? In the bhoga way of life, you start eating a dish of your choice, or hear some music, or browse and spend your energy ES more. In the yoga way of life, what do? When you are getting bored, take a deep breath. Slowly breathe out. Pranayama practice. Relax. Do shavasana. Avartan dhyan, cyclic meditation. Do meditation. Calm down the mind. Automatically E is going to come down, your boredom is going to go. This is the key difference between the bhoga way of life and the yoga way of life. Therefore, as yogis practicing yoga all through, what is to be done? You must see that you reduce your E. Once you do that, you are in the right direction to do that. That is the main difference. Yoga way is to reduce E. Bhoga way is to increase the ES, to reduce EA, we have seen. So for that, you have to gain mastery. That's what yoga offers. Mastery over the mind. How? Ashtanga yoga has been given by Patanjali. And Jnana yoga, Bhakti yoga, Karma yoga, different streams of yoga bring about the necessary dimension. And yoga, therefore, helps to gain mastery over the E itself. You can increase or decrease. you have to decrease. But in some cases, when you have to have lot of years needed, for example, you are a runner, you are a fighter, you are a wrestler, then when you have to run, you need lot of energy to run fast. Therefore, you increase the E that is needed. You want years 3000, 4000 you need years to run fast. Therefore, what should be done? E itself should be increased. From 3000, you increase it to 4500. Then 500 is EA. So, maintaining the same thing, you will find that ES you can increase. By doing what? By increasing the E. So, yoga helps us to decrease E or increase E at your will. This to gain mastery over the mind, Patanjali said. This is to gain mastery over the production or decrease of the E. Therefore, you can be a great runner, great wrestler. You need a lot of energy for spending, you can use that. Or normally, you have a reduced E. Therefore, EA is reduced. You maintain the equanimity, you maintain the same EA under all circumstances. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Well, there was a very brilliant student in my class. He came and asked, Sir, you tell me if when ES increases, EA decreases. Now, supposing I have painful situation. Like for example, there is a scorpion bite. Then tremendous amount of energy is spent. Pain. But then, according to your equation, ES has increased, therefore EA should decrease in a scorpion bite. What do you say for that? Very brilliant question. Then I told that once you have such a situation, then a different mechanism takes over in the body. When the scorpion bite occurs, there is a trigger to increase the E to a great extent. The normal equation is 3000 is 2000 plus 1000. In the scorpion bite, this 2000 becomes 3000. Therefore, what happens to this? 3000 becomes 5000. Therefore, 5000, this is 3000, you get 2000 as EA. Therefore, you have tremendous pain. This is a new mechanism that takes place when you have such specialized event of a scorpion bite or a snake bite or such painful situation. And this is how the energy equation, the pranic energy equation has to be modified. Then, is there a relation to our lifespan? Another student asked me this question. Very nice question. And I said, yes. The total amount of energy that we have accumulated when you are born, you are taking about every day certain amount of energy, 3000 units. Let's say you had 3 lakh units that you are born with, and every day you take 3000 units. So every day you take out, you have 100 days. If you take only 300 units, then you will live for more than 1000. Therefore, if E that we take out goes on reducing, then we have a longer lifespan. The equation is like this. Lifespan equal total E divided by E that you draw every day. So, slower the breath, lower the E, longer your lifespan. This is what we see around the world among the human beings, among the animals, among the birds and others. The breathing rate is very, very small, their lifespan is high. An elephant has a low breathing rate, stays longer. A tortoise lives for 200 years. Whereas a dog, the breathing rate is very high, maybe about 30 per minute. therefore lifespan is about 15. Human normal breathing rate is 15 to 18, therefore we have a lifespan of about 100 years. There is. So if you reduce the breathing rate, then your lifespan increases. Great yoga masters used to live for a long time by reducing their breathing rate. So the breathing rate and the lifespan has been connected. And the breathing rate reduced, E is reduced, therefore we have the lifespan increased. That is the connection of the energy model with the lifespan that we have. So with that, we now have understood what is the mechanism by which this happiness occurs with the Vishaya Sambhoga. When the senses come in touch with the sense object, there is the obliteration of thoughts in the mind. And when this happens, the EA reduces. Because ES has increased, EA reduces. And EA reduction is the happiness we have seen. So when ES is reduced, then EA increases. This is a state of boredom. Why we get bored? Because you have stopped your activity. You are sitting quiet and you get bored. So we want to involve in activity. So if you start involving in activity, eating, walking, swimming and other things, it is the normal way of doing it, we all do. But in the yoga way, you reduce the E itself so that your boredom is gone. This is the new technique that yoga offers. Therefore, Patanjali and the yoga experts has given us the new tool to overcome our boredom, to become happier day by day without involving in the sense pleasures. The techniques are called Ashtanga Yoga, the Gnana Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Karma Yoga, the various streams of yoga that comes up. Therefore, we are going to take up in future courses these dimensions of Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, and bring about the secrets involved in these streams of yoga. But the basis is contained in this understanding of the deeper dimension, how our life is geared towards Sukha Prapti and Dukkha Nivritti. And for that purpose, you have to calm down the mind, silence the mind, tranquil the mind. And in the process, EA is going to reduce, and the EA gets reduced by decreasing the E in the yoga way of life, while in the bhoga way of life, S is increased. And therefore, the right approach, the best approach is to reduce the E, and for that we have various streams of yoga. So this is the whole connection between the dimensions. So we will proceed further in our next courses to understand how this is achieved through the 4 streams of yoga that Swami Vivekananda has given us: the work or worship, philosophy or psychic control, and by 1 or 2 or all of these to reach that freedom, eternal freedom, mastery over the whole thing. Thank you all. Wish you the best.